Hi everyone. Welcome to Tiger Brokers live session. I am Esther, your host from the Tiger Brokers community team. For the next hour, we are going to dive into the most important theme of our current theme, artificial intelligence. But tonight isn't just another AI is changing the world talk. Our topic today is from AI hype to AI impact, navigating the future of business and SGX investment opportunities. We are honored to have two powerhouse guests line up to bridge the gap between AI hype and AI impact. What AI really means for business, for your career, or most importantly, how to invest in AI through SGX. Firstly, let's welcome our old friend, Mr. Kenny Law, who has presented a lot of live streams on our platform. He is the founder of RateSurvey.com and an experienced SGX academic channel. Let's invite Kenny Law to briefly introduce himself and share the key focus of his presentation today. Hi, Kenny.
Hi everyone, I'm Kenny Law. I believe that most of you know me. So today it's my honor to be able to invite Kenny Tay. All right. Today you'll be Kenny talk to Kenny, right? So Kenny is from the Singapore AI Association, right? So he'll be giving an overview on what would be the future direction of the AI for Singapore as a whole. And after that, I will show some of the investment opportunity based on this kind of AI trend. Hopefully, can share some of the insight on where are the AI direction when it comes to investment moving forward. Thank you, Esther.
Let's go, Kenny. We are looking forward to hearing you more. Next, we are very happy to have Kenny Tay, the CEO of Singapore AI Association and the founder of AI 49. Hi, Mr. Tay. Please say hi and briefly introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about what is SAIA and what services does the platform provide. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kenny. Very honored and very happy to be working with Kenny Low, uh, as well as invited by Esther to do this webinar. Primarily, I'm the current CEO and founder of Singapore AI Association. So we are a trade association in Singapore, helping individuals to upskill and reskill, improving their knowledge of AI, so that some of this job opportunity or income opportunity can be a professional AI individuals. We also focus a lot on helping organizations, SMEs, primarily to transform AI. I know AI has been a very big disruption and challenges for everybody, especially when organizations are not very technically trained, right, or the environment are not technically trained. Yeah, so SAIA is here to help. We launch many programs. Just look up more of our information from our website. You can just Google Singapore AI Association. You should be able to find us. We have been dealing with a lot of workshops and working alongside with, in fact, other trade associations in Singapore, so that we can help more industries in their AI transformation journey. Yeah, and back to you, Esther. Yeah.
Thank you. Sounds like a very professional platform. And Mr. Will more just on how AI is actively reshaping the future of work and some many other areas. Thank you again for two gentlemen. For those who join us for the first time, welcome. Let me give a quick introduction of Tiger Brokers. We are a leading global online brokerage, but we are more than just a trading platform. Through our Tiger community, we bring you expert market insights, breaking industry news, and a high conviction investment ideas to keep you ahead of the curve. If you are ready to start exploring the investment opportunities, please download our flagship trading app, TechTrade. We have more than 20 million users worldwide. We offer Tiger AI to analyze this market data and deliver real-time insights. We also have Card Cash Boost account, which provides at least 20,000 SG dollars to expand your buying power for equities and ETFs. If you are ready to take the next step, check our tags today. And now, here's the fun part. let me bring out some incentives for all of our audience. We have 5 lucky round draws tonight. Each round, we have 2 winners. So please join the lucky draws to reply questions and also stay as long as you can for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even 30 minutes. You can get as much as 75 coins. If there are any live stream satisfaction survey, you can fill in and you can get another 50 coins. Okay, thank you for listening. Let me move straight into our first lucky draw round. Okay, here are the 2 questions. For our audience, do you use AI in your work or daily life? What are the main AI tools you rely on? Please comment in the comment section. And for the second question, do you use AI to help with your analysis during your investment process? Okay, we will give like 1 minute or few 30 seconds for more comments. Yeah, we see yes. Copilot, no. Yes, GPT, Cloud, yes. Okay. Tiger AI, thank you so much. How about Kenny? Both Kenny, do you use AI tools as well?
Oh, of course, a lot.
I using it almost every day. I use Gemini, uh, Perplexity, uh, ChatGPT, and Notebook LM, right? Oh,
Yeah,
quite,
very.
quite a lot, quite a lot. Yeah, yeah. And next week I'll be attending the AI movie making. So you very soon
Wow.
you can see some of my movie, short movie.
Wow.
Sounds interesting. Okay, I think we audience are all involved in AI because it's widely used. So now, how about we will our colleague will select 2 winners, and before we dive into the main topic, let me give a quick disclaimer reminder. This broadcaster has not been reviewed by the MAS. The views expressed are the speaker's own and not Tiger Brokers. Today's session is strictly for education and communication purpose and it's not for financial advice. Okay, following the time, we'll back to our first guest speaker, Kenny Tay. Hi, Kenny. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, yeah. So I think primarily I think Esther did a good introduction and also give some insights of what it is. I will start the ball rolling and share some insights of from AI hype to AI impact. How do we prepare the future of work as well as business, right, in your career. And on SEIA website, these are some of the masterclass and workshops, hands-on primarily, to help more individuals, to reduce fear in joining our community, and to learn AI, right? So we have vibe coding, we teach things like how the business community can use a Telegram bot, to scan name cards and then automatically taking photos of name cards in your Telegram, and then of course transmit that into data, right? And we do a lot of AI generated contents, making movies, making kind of short videos. I think primarily not so much movies, and we also support a lot of other ecosystem players, right? So one of the upcoming one will be the Singapore Business Show. We have also another one which is exactly the same time, which we are the official AI association, which is AIMX, which is also held at Marina Bay Sands on the August 26th and 27th. Yeah, so just catch us there and we can chat more while we meet, soon enough. Yes. And at the start of talking about AI, like even yesterday when I was chatting with Senior Minister Miss Low Yen Ling, and we did talk about the impact of how AI it's critical in our everyday lives, right? Whether you are employee of organizations or whether even you are a retiree at home, right? Or an entrepreneur, founders of a a organization, or SMEs, right? I think using AI is a very critical, component. And end of the day, I think it's very critical. For the last 2 years, AI has been the most discussed technology in many places, right? Whether it's governments or coffee shops, meetings, conversations. And I think the most important thing is that everybody is asking the same questions, like, how should we adopt AI? Will AI replace jobs? Are we moving fast enough? Perhaps, or we're moving too fast, for some people, right? And today I would like to suggest something a bit different. And the question is no longer about, should we use AI? The real question is, how do we create real impact, from AI? Because the history, right, that we know, will not remember who experiment with AI, and history will remember those who transform their business with AI. Right? And that's one of the most important, slides. Next. So we are living through, a lot of industry revolutions, and these revolutions really shape how humans really work, right? Like, for example, steam, right? Steam engines change a lot of things of how replacing of humans' muscle. Electricity transform manufacturing. In the internet, change communications, right? And mobile technology change behavior. And these are some of the trends. I think we have been, looking at it, and if you look at AI, is replicating human intelligence, and the most important thing is AI is very different, right? AI is the first technology, in the history of mankind that can replicate certain forms of human intelligence itself, and it can write, it can analyze, it can reason, it can also create, right? And it also means that AI is not just a simple, of changing tools, but most important, AI is changing the nature of work. Next. And from AI to really from hub to reality, right? And over the past 2 to 3 years, we have also seen tremendous hype from companies rushing to buy, AI solutions, companies, employees, or individuals starting to use ChatGPT, which is a good thing, right? Investors pour billions of dollars into AI startups. But today, I think the key most important question is that we are entering into a new phase. And the question is, as chief, what can really AI do? To what AI's values can, business values can AI deliver, right? So implementing AI becomes, to a lot of people, that has been much harder than experimenting with it. And what kind of business value, right, can really AI deliver? And many organizations are experimenting now what we call AI reality checks. And because implementing AI is so much harder than experimenting with AI, and if you look at the slides now, 80% are really still experimenting with it. They don't really understand. Yesterday, as I was chatting with Ms. Ho Yen Ling, and we were really talking about, how people can differentiate between using just, LMs, or ChatGPT or Gemini per se, but really knowing how to use AI agents, knowing how to use agentic agents, right? And a lot of organizations are trapped, right, in the pilots, in the kind of situations, right? They have a lot of AI workshops, they have a lot of pilot projects, they have employees using AI tools, but they struggle, end of the day, to achieve productivity gains, process transformations, right, as well as revenue growth. How do you measure the ROI of how much you invest and how much do you get, in return, right? Next. And if you really look at the reality check is that the maturity of AI has been very mature. And I often talk about the future of work, as if it's coming in 10 years, not really so, because it's happening in real time right now. And every professions are reshaping, the job roles, the performance indicators, the market is booming with, like, for example, like marketing is very AI assisted right now. Customer service is becoming very AI powered. HR also has become an AI enabled environment. Software development is AI generated, right? And the future of work is not really about humans versus AI. It is about human working alongside with AI, right? And how does humans manage a team of AI? So let's say, for example, if SME has only 5 person, Yeah, and with AI, perhaps the productivity becomes 10%, 15%, right? Instead of only just 5. So making use of all these elements of AI, a maturity of this technology, the ROI will expand. So the governance of running all these things becomes very important. Next. So in I think in not just in the future, currently, right, a lot of employees are starting to have a very small percentage of in the market. The employees are starting to have like AI research assistants, AI data analysis, AI customer service agents, and AI content creator, right? And it also means that every workers become more productive. It also means that expectation will rise, will increase. Employees who thrive not to be those who are competing against AI, and there will be those who learn to collaborate with AI, right? Next. So jobs will never change or just simply disappear. And one of the biggest, I think, fear surrounding with AI is job displacement. And if you look at things throughout history, technology has always changed jobs. It has created entirely new industries, and this will also happen with AI, right? Some tasks will disappear, which I won't disagree. Many tasks will be redesigned, right? Entire new roles will emerge, right? AI trainers will be one of them. Things like even AI governance specialists, things like AI auditors, right? Prompts engineers, human AI workflows designers. So the challenge is not job eliminations, right? The challenge is workforce transitions. Next. So there are three risks that we have to be mindful of, right? And there are these three major risks that a lot of businesses are facing today. I think number one is how is business moving too slowly? While competitors are becoming more productive, not just locally, but regionally, globally, you will lose a lot of ground if you're not able to transform. And of course, the second key point is that, of course, some businesses, because they are so fast in making decisions, are they moving too quickly, right? So by implementing AI without a governance and strategy creates a lot of wastage, create a lot of risk. So a lot of times I also share that as AIA, we have our AI discovery clinic where it's free to attend. Businesses, they can actually register to attend our clinic, which is at least about 2 or 3 times per month, where we really talk to them, have a very clear, defined process, to help them to transform. And of course, last of all, and doing nothing is also a risk, a very big risk. In fact, probably the biggest risk, right? And AI adoption is a very competitive necessity, right, in the market space, right? So there's something all of you should take note of, what is there and important to be done and to take action towards it. Next. And I think I will pass the baton back to Esther, and perhaps you can answer some
Yes.
and get some
Thank you.
prize.
Thank you, Tay, for your sharing. It's my pleasure to bring out the second round, Lucky Joe. As Kenny mentioned, AI reshapes traditional workflows. Here's the question: which of the following is an example of a new job role emerging in the market? A. Repetitive data entry specialist. B. Basic report generator. C. Human AI workflow designer. D. Rule-based decision analyst. Wow, we see a lot C in the comment section. All are good listeners. We will have 2 winners this round. Congratulations first. Okay, I think it's enough. Our colleague will select 2 winners. Then, Kenny, you can continue sharing. No worries, we still have another 3 rounds and the Q&A is waiting for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. So let's take a look at the competitive advantage, right? For the longest time, in the past, competitive advantage, it comes from capital, it comes from scale, it comes from market access. But today, the competitive advantage increasingly comes from intelligence, right? How does organization learn faster, adapt faster, and redesign, work faster? And AI has become a force multiplier. A small company can use AI effectively, that can compete with much larger, organization, and that create tremendously, opportunity for a lot of SMEs. Like even for solopreneur, right? If you're alone running a business, if you know how to use AI, you are like a company, right, with multiple staff working, alongside with you every day, right? Next. So there are five capabilities that I feel every organization will require, right, or needs. Number one, if you look at things like leadership commitment is very critical. So are you really committed, right? Because the transformation have to start from the decision makers. The transformation have to start from the leaders, right? And number two, AI literacy, right? Everybody has to learn or need a basic understanding of AI. In SCIA, we have we work alongside with AI Singapore. We actually, through Google, has developed a basic 101 on AI, which is free of charge, right? And you receive a certifications after completing of the course, right? So if you're really keen, reach out to us, and we shall, organize regular sessions to train as many employees, workforce, and individuals as much as possible in Singapore. And third of all, if you really look at things, don't automate, broken processes. And I think one of the things that of an organization that really need is to really look at the process of how things are being done, right? And of course, number four, it would be governance and trust. How can SCIA also help organization, SME, in fact, to at least, build your first AI policy, which is very important. What can you do and what you should not do in an environment of adopting AI, right? And of course, and lastly, continuous learning. So AI is something which is very hands-on, right? And AI is so fast that it evolves every month. Everything's move, improve, change, transform. So learning has to be a ongoing process, right? So I think what we hope to achieve in the trade association SCIA is to accomplish with many other trade association and organizations to give as much knowledge, to the Singapore workforce as much as we can. Next. So from tools to transformation, right? So many companies will ask, what tools should I buy? But tools are not transformation. Buying tools are very easy. You just pay and you get it. But changing behavior is very difficult. Like a lot of people say, hey, Kenny, how are you using Claude? I just started using Claude about a month or 2 or 3 months, that kind of thing. And deeply, the key question is that how do you use Claude? Right? How do you use contents of many other AI solutions, right? And transformation oftenly can only happen when organizations rethink about what? Rethink about workflows, rethink about operating or models. How do you build skills within the organizations? And how do you transform customer experience? Because by transforming that, it would generate a new, perhaps new revenue channels, to higher heights, and the winners of the AI era will not only necessarily be those with the best technology, but most important will be those who transform fastest. Next. And human skills, interestingly, AI has become more intelligent. Human skills become even more important, right? These are the 6 key things that I feel that's critically enough for humans to be, part of the equations: creativity, leadership, empathy, critical thinking, right? Ethics and communications. So these are things that it requires, that humans' involvement or human in the loop, right? These are the differentiators, right? AI may generate content, but humans generate meanings, right? AI might analyze data, but most importantly, human provide judgment. Next. Yep. So pass on back to Esther.
Okay, Esther, come back again. Time for our third lucky draw round. You guys are doing great so far, but let's see who has been paying the closest attention. Which of the following is highlighted as potentially the greatest risk for all for business today? I think the question is pretty easy. Implementing AI too rapidly, overspending on AI cloud. C. Doing nothing. D. Hiring prompt engineer too early. Thank you for all the participation. We see a lot of C's. Oh, very easy question. Okay, Tay, you can share the.
Okay, so let me continue, right?
Two
So
winners.
Trust, right? Responsible AI, right? And trust, ethical AI. I think it's a very critical component when we really talk about transformations, right? In many of the talks I've shared, even in the recent APEC China, where China is hosting the Asia Pacific Economic Forum, we also talk about AI verified foundations, being governance. And Singapore is a very governance place, very compliant, very safe, trusted hub, kind of thing. And I think it also boils down to being in such an environment. Right? Organization also started to ask, right? Is our AI fair? Is it transparent? Is the customer data protected? Are employees prepared? Right? And most important, right? Primarily, responsible AI is not just a compliance exercise, right? It's a business strategy, right? Because trust create adoption, and adoption create impact, right? Next. Well, Singapore has one of the unique position opportunity in the whole of in especially in Southeast Asia or in the Asia Pac region, right? And because why? Because a couple of things that matters. We have a very good, extremely very good digital infrastructure, right? We have very good educational ecosystems. We have our skill future framework, our futures credits. We are the number one most trained workforce in the world, comparable to all the countries. And we have very forward-looking policies. Singapore, I think, the government has been doing a great job, by making sure that the policies are relevant, right? And especially in the government's governance framework, right? How do you enable responsible innovations, and of course, industry, very active industry partnerships, right? And that's very, very, very important. So even as a small country, communications and working alongside with many ecosystem players, like today, by participating alongside with Tiger, brokers, I think is a very important and great activities to have in Singapore, right? And Singapore can eventually become a global leader in practical and responsible AI adoption. But success also really depends on our collaborations, right? Both the governments, the industry, academia, the associations, and businesses working together. And that's what we hope, eventually what we can achieve. Next. So as at the Singapore AI Association, our mission is very simple, right? To ensure AI adoption, it's not just limited to very large enterprises or MNCs. What we really hope to achieve is to look at SMEs. Right? So even in our clinics, we have many solopreneurs coming to us and say, "Hey, I want to transform. I don't have a lot of budget. Is there a very simple way to do it, and the low budget way to do it?" Yes, of course they are, right? And there are many initiatives within the association that we launched. I've mentioned about the AI Discovery Clinic. I've mentioned about AI illiteracy program that we work with AI Singapore. We have an AI transformation toolkit, meaning that if you scan a QR code, you put in only two things. You put in a website link of your business, so that the AI will know what industry you're from, and you just put in two problem statements, right? They will send you a report within the next 10 seconds to tell you how your transformation is going to be, what are the adoption gaps in your industry that you might face, how do you solve, using AI for your prompt statement, right? And these are of off free for the toolkit, right? You can do multiple times, put in different endpoints and different problem statement, right? And of course, we have a lot of job redesign initiative, right? And of course, most important, we practice responsible AI advocacy. And awareness alone does not just create impact. And most important, execution is, I've always mentioned, AI is an environment that you need to use it, you need to hands-on it. It's not only about learning it, because learning doesn't really makes you well-versed in using AI. But hands-on it, it makes you becomes better and better, right? So execution and implementation is one of the most important things, right? So the final message, I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about, for three thoughts, right? So AI is not replacing humanity, right? We are not watching Terminator, right? And it's reshaping how humanity relationships with work, right? Number two, the future belongs to adaptable organizations, and very important that those with the best technology, it's not only just that appear towards the best outcome, but those who transform the fastest, because the faster you get to experience it, the faster you can fine tune certain things, and then of course that can help to speed up the whole entire process of that transformation. And the future will be determined by the leadership, right? So the AI revolution is no longer just coming, it's really here, right? And a lot of times I think the key question is that will we simply watch it happen, or do we actively shape it? And I think that's one of the most important insights that that we have, part of the slides today. Yeah, next. And I will pass it on to Esther. Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. We'll now open the floor to audience question. Feel free to submit your question in the comment section. Mr. Kenny Tay will address them live. And don't go yet, because stay tuned with us for the second half that Kenny Law will give more about the investment area. Hi Tay, you can see the comment section, a lot of discussion and questions. You can.
Yeah. Never mind, I'll ask. Kenny, okay. Now Kenny ask Kenny. All right.
Don't tekan me.
Hey, I saw your website have one interesting tool. Basically, the business owner that can put their concern into the website, and also that will give a report on what are the transformation needed for the company, right? Is it what I
So that's
understand?
our AI transformation toolkit. Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. Is there any toolkits for those who have concern they may lose the job? Because I can see quite a number of comment they're worried about their job can be replaced. Is there any toolkit, for example, certain job when you put in this kind of website, the Miss SAI can give you some direction now. Okay, these are the potential job may need to redesign, and what should the employee currently to prepare themselves to be future AI ready?
There wasn't a toolkit for answering such questions, but I can answer it right now. I can share one very good example. Accountants are one of the job roles that they have a lot of fear, because if accountant in the finance department, if AI is being used for accounts payable, account receivable, and bank record, right? And then the next question is, what should the accountant do? Because it saves a lot of time for technology to replace. You don't really have to manually key in all the data. You can do a bank record very fast. You can just scan the bank statement, go into a system, and they can just fill in all the blanks. They can even help me to segmentize based on the records and the description of the amount of the transactions in the bank statement. So a lot of things all can be done. I think the real key word is that, how do we then transform this accountant to become a financial data analyst? And being a financial data analyst, it also encompasses, to be more of things like, going into predictive data. So I think predictive data becomes one of the insights of what organizations and accountants can do, right? I think that will largely helps, organizations and employees of that financial departments to solve the fear of perhaps losing their jobs. Yeah. So maybe this is, one typical answers I can give.
Yeah. I also can see that there are quite a number of jobs really can be so-called replaced. For example, the legal counsel or for those lawyers who really focus on reading a document, because you don't need a lawyer to read a document anymore, right? So that can be another aspect I would think of. And also, I am on the investment side. I can also see that actually currently there are quite a number of AI tools that can do a quite good analysis and also on the stock market itself. So I would say that the research analyst, the job will be at risk also. And anyway, by doing a comparison, actually, I think that AI doing a much better job than human and in much faster and more efficient way. So we probably need to have a lot rethink on the job lah, right?
I,
Need to
I, I, I
reskill
I think sometimes the humans has the control. AI being a tool and being a technology, they have no emotions. Very
Mm,
rarely, if you ask any questions on in any LMs, most of the time the answers are all very positive. They don't have a negative thoughts process. Unless you
yep.
ask it, what's a negative things, right?
Mm, mm,
And I think while humans being the most important governance over technology, how to use it and how to effective use it in more areas. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that I think we should envision to think about.
okay. Okay, Kenny, I have next question here. Good question. How can the local SME leverage on SAIA and also government resources to adopt AI?
Um, Actually, the government give a lot of funding. One very classic example is there's a funding that is for job redesign. So let's say, for example, a company come to us and say, okay, Kenny, I have 5 employees, small company SMEs, they have been with me for many, many years, and we want to transform. So the first step approach is come to our clinic. Then we explain to them what is the fundings and programs that how we can help companies to transform. And through that process, not only the program is funded very highly, right? 70% funded for that job redesign component to create also customized, skills development programs. How do we teach them new skills? And end of that transformation, and because they're existing staff of the company, the organization can even claim, 3 months of this employees' existing staff salary for 3 months, up to 90%, right? So that becomes a very big incentive for companies to come forward to us. Then, of course, if you talk about technology grant, there are quite a couple of them being available. Like IMDA, they have PSG funding, which you know. The new one is actually a Quick Win program for customized solutions. We have also EDG, right? Primarily from Enterprise Singapore. We work alongside with many, solutions providers to facilitate that, right? And of course, NTUC also launched a CTC program, which is funding 70% up to $1 million. Yeah. And which is a lot of money, $1 million for
Yeah, yeah.
organizations. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny, I know that there are a lot of government support on the AI adoption. I don't think the participants are able to absorb everything. What is the best way for them to reach out to SAIA if they want to have this area of maybe consultation or maybe have a first diagnosis? What's the
Uh,
best way?
right. Come to our website. There's a page called programs or events, right? And then attend our AI discovery clinic. Yeah. So you get all the answers there. We have
Okay.
a one-to-one sessions that advisors can help you to think in your environment, in needs of the organizations, how we can help you to transform.
Mm, good. Okay, next questions. Okay, it's more macro. What unique competitive advantage does Singapore have in the AI ecosystem compared to other regions? Maybe in the
Um,
Southeast Asia or Asia region.
if you really look at it, from even in the investment standpoint, there are many AI companies comes here from financial gains, right? So we have access to a lot of data of information. What kind of technology is available, what is the new trends. And Singapore also has a very unique positioning where we enforce a lot of governance and compliance, because when we use AI, we want it to be very safe. And that's very important. Many, I think, organizations, they might not know how to do it. Singapore actually is one of the first country in the world that developed a first AI agentic framework for people to understand and to know how an agentic framework should be. We are also the very first, if I'm not wrong, in the world to develop. Do you know the government launched AI registrar, AI agent registrar, not for human being, for AI agent, for government civil servant. So the civil servant use a typical AI agent. The AI agent has to be registered in the registrar, right? So that they can follow certain protocols or rules to control. Saying, for example, certain words it cannot be used in your email reply. Because if you're using AI agents to do that, how do you ensure that certain words can't be used, right? Yeah. Then of course, and with AI Verified Foundation, which is founded by IMDA, right, a couple of years back, and it's also free to use framework, right, for many organizations to look at, if let's say, for example, if you're deploying a technology, you can also ask the technology companies, do you, how deeply do you follow the framework? And it is something that it's very useful if you have issues or challenges, answering some of the questions I pose. Just come to the clinic. I think that's the most easiest way to answer you.
Yeah. I think we have to stop here due to time concern.
Sure.
So as I hand over back to you, I think there are still many questions in the chat box, which is good, right? Maybe you can have a separate Q&A sent to
Yes.
SAIA for them
Yes,
to
we will
address.
collect all the Q&As and we'll send it to Kenny Tay.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Now, huge thanks to Kenny Tay that we are more about the SGX AI value chain. And now we will pass the floor to our second speaker, Kenny Law, to share where the AI investment opportunities are on SGX. Welcome, Kenny. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Esther. All right, so I skip my self-introduction. I believe that most of you may know me, right? Basically, I'm a licensed financial advisor. I'm at the same time I'm also a SGX trainer, right? So before I start, maybe have some indication. How many of you have used all these AI tools? The name here, right? Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Copilot. Any one of you use four of them, or you only use one of them, right? And Perplexity or Copilot, right? Just type in the chat box. All right. So the next question I would want to ask all of you to start thinking, okay, because this is important, right? In your investment journey, this is more on the self exploration, right? When you use all these services, have you ever think about uh, what are the ecosystem to deliver this kind of solution or service to us, right? For example, Gemini. If you want to use Gemini, how do you need to access a Gemini? You definitely need the browser, you need a computer, all right? Then how the computer, after you type in your questions and send to somewhere or server and give you that kind of reply, right? Definitely along the way, there are a lot of supporting infrastructure to make this happen, right? So when we use the AI not necessarily just based on the services you can see, that involved in a lot of value chain to make it happen. Okay, for example, in order to connect your computer to the cloud server, you need to go through the so-called maybe Singtel, right? Or maybe going through by the optic fiber, and you need to process in the data center, and you need the water and also the electricity to run the data center. And at the same time, in the server itself, there are many computer chips there are many CPU. You need the semiconductor chips to make all those PCBA, right? And you also need a lot of equipment. So there are a whole sort of a value chain in the AI space, right? So you probably also heard about and read about, there are many people talk about, is this a dot-com bubble, right? Because we know that for the past few months, the US, the technology sector or AI sector, they have gone crazy. And recently, they have go through a huge so-called correction, right? So the key question here is one of the things that I, based on my view, my conclusion would be AI will not be the dot-com bubble. It's not a bubble because based on the application, based on the whole ecosystem to make the AI happen, you need to go through the whole broader industrial transformation. All right. I use the AI to draw up this the map. Okay. At the present moment, we are still in the infant stage of AI adoption, right? So we are seeing that NVIDIA stock going up because of the GPU chip they are selling well, and TSMC they're also doing well because of the wafer fabrication itself, right? And also some of the AI development, some of the software at the present moment, right, is still an infant stage. We still have not arrived the stage at AI is widely adopted at the various sector. For example, healthcare, right? When we visit the hospital itself, there are some AI adoption, but it's not so obvious. Then moving forward, they are basically based on the big data itself. They can make their diagnostic and also provide their personal medication, medicine in the uh, wide range, and also it's more accurate because now we still need to go to a doctor, go through all the diagnosis before the doctor can prescribe the medicine to us. But moving forward, they can do some predictive based on the big data I have, right? In terms of finance, they in future now they are starting to use the AI to do some fraud detection and also automate trading. Have seen the automatic trading in the investing world, and in terms of manufacturing. For example, all those tools maintenance, machine maintenance, we need to do it, use human to go and check all those wear and tear regularly. But in future, we can start to roll out the predictive maintenance. Based on the data itself, the AI will tell us what is the shelf life of certain component, when do we need to add some lubricant, when do we need to change a gasket, on those preventive maintenance can be in place in future, right? In terms of transportation, autonomous system will be here pretty soon, right? And also there are some of the retail personal experience. Next time you don't really need to go to the maybe shopping mall. We can do some virtual shopping use of AI, because the AI really can analyze our demand, our personal consumption. They also can anticipate our demand moving forward. So there'll be a wide range of the AI adoption moving forward. And now we are still at a very early stage. Okay. Now, the other thing, how AI can transform the whole manufacturing sector. If you're in engineering sector, if you're in manufacturing sector, and moving forward, we probably go and see that the whole factory is all run by robot. Is you do not need any human, right, to run a manufacturing plant, basically everything by robot. But you just think of it, in order to replace the whole factory by robots, okay, you need to have those equipment being built up that will drive the industrial sector, right? Industrial sector basically is all the equipment manufacturer. You have a test machine, you have a fabricator machine, you have tool and die, and those are the industrial will be you'll be impacted, and they will drive a lot of manufacturing activity. And when you have a lot of robotic arms and also a lot of robot running your factory itself, you definitely need all those computer chip. You need a computer chip, you need a semiconductor, you need a memory. That's why the memory sector will be doing well. And in order to make sure the factory can talk to the factory, right? You need a cable, you need some wireless, right? Communication, you need Wi-Fi. You need the telco, you need a data center. Basically, it's a whole series of ecosystem need to be set up, and also infrastructure, right? Moving forward, I also can envision that uh, using the same product, you can sell set up multiple manufacturing plant in multiple location, right? And build the product at the same time. For example, when Apple launch a new product, they'll probably launch in US, then after that manufacture in China. After it's stabilized, then you start to roll out to maybe Vietnam and also India to build other next generation of iPhone. But with the AI and also with all the robot itself, they can set up multiple plant at multiple country. And once the new product launch, they can get all the factory manufacturing the same product at the same time. Because with this connectivity, with this kind of intelligence, with this kind of robot, they can do it very fast in a very fast way, in a very cheap way, and also in a very efficient way, plus at a high quality. Okay, so basically, there will be a new whole transformation and also innovation. Will be happening in the manufacturing space. All right. So at the present moment, it's just the beginning. You just think of a science fiction that normally you watch on the movie itself, and that they will come eventually. All right. So based on all these things, uh, the AI today I'm talking about, I'll be sharing, would be focusing on a physical layer of artificial intelligence. All right. So this is a unique so-called value at the present moment appear on the SGX. Right. So what we want to do is to capitalize the picks and shovel strategy. Okay, what is this strategy is all about? This strategy means that you are not looking at the AI or stock that can provide the ultimate product. You are looking at the stock or investment team that can focus on supplying the essential tools, service, and infrastructure, right? Because if you're looking at all the end product itself, you can see that the services, for example, some of the AI software listed on the US itself, they have a very high price volatility. Okay, so because the premium is higher, the volatility is higher. That's why you can see a lot of capital gain. Okay, but these are not a stock happen in SGX. Whatever a stock in the SGX itself, they are mainly focused on the infrastructure. So my point is, besides looking at those end product, the AI which provide the end product, look at the foundation of a manufacturing and also the infrastructure who are have an exposure in the AI space, right? So at the present moment, the SGX ecosystem, they offer a very unique structural advantage, okay? Providing the physical infrastructure and for the global AI while operating within a stable, yield generative market environment, okay? Most of the people mention about, right, when we invest in the AI itself, you are looking at the growth. But on XGX itself, actually you can get some yield. That means the more on the income investment from the AI infrastructure itself. Okay, so this is the global AI supply chain, and what are the strategic positionings on some of the SGX stock. Okay, so in the AI supply chain, you have a fabrication, the wafer fabrication, and until also in order to make it into chip itself, you need to go through the assembly and testing. Then after that, you have a server racking and hosting and powering, and also cloud delivery. This is more on the network and also the IT space. All right, a bit technical, but I just want to give you an overview because it's too technical to go to individual manufacturing process already. So in Singapore, listed company UMS and also Franken, they are in the fabrication space. And in terms of the assembly and testing, micro mechanics and AEM, they have some activity in the AI space, right? In terms of assembly and also testing. When it comes to the hosting and powering, we have quite a number of data center REIT in Singapore. They have already exposure in the AI. For example, Keppel DC, Digital Core, NTT. Later, I'll touch on this portion. And when it comes to the cloud delivery, actually Singtel, they have the setting up the data center. That even today, just now, I think today's news, they talk about they want to launch a data center REIT into SGX and also exploring the next deck IPO. Okay. So asset class one, more focus on the global hardware angle, right? So UMS integration and also Franken, they are more on the front end precision. Basically, this company, they are providing the ultra high precision mechanical modules and structural mechatronics. Okay, basically it's assembly, mechanical assembly itself. Okay, a bit technical, but you just need to know that they are building all these kind of mechanical modules. Okay, and the block two will be the consumer and the wafer fab. In the semiconductor manufacturing itself, there are quite a number of tools and die itself is a consumer components, right? Because when during the manufacturing process, due to the high wear and tear, they have to replace all these kind of tool and die very frequently. So micro mechanics actually supplying all these tool and dies. Okay. The third one will be the AEM holdings. After building up all the wafer fab and also doing all this kind of mechanical assembly, you need to test all the equipment before you can send it up. So AEM holding, they are doing the engineering enhanced system level test handler. Okay, some of the test equipment. Okay, so this is a summary on the AI hardware metrics for those SGX manufacturing stock in Singapore, right? So AM holding focus on advanced test handler, UMS integration is the precision front end equipment parts. Franken Group is the precision contract manufacturing. Micro mechanics is consumer tool and dies. Okay, and these are the AI valuation they are in, and these are the key operation catalysts. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these things. It's not easy to do the analysis of what are the stock listed on Singapore who have exposure in AI. You need to read their chairman's statement or some of my management report. What would be their growth in the AI sector and what would be the participation in the AI sector for you to identify them. Okay, this is more on the AI manufacturing side. Okay, then the other segment would be the bridge, right? The equipment has to talk, the AI has to talk to the cloud. Okay, so Singtel actually they connects the hardware capability to a localized enterprise AI application. Okay, they are through the data center and also the hyperscaler itself. Okay, now we come to the lucky draw number 4. All right. Do you hold any SGX listed stocks or ETF with AI exposure? I've just listed some of them. Right. Maybe you have already done your research and analysis, and the stock you're currently holding, maybe they already have an AI exposure. Yeah, you just name as many as possible and see whether you are able to name any one of them. Okay, I saw Singtel, I saw Cable DC. Okay, right. Just share among each other, and of course have to do. Okay, I saw someone write Sembcorp. Probably have to go and read in detail how Sembcorp actually participate in the AI. Keppel, I know that they are in what part of it. Keppel Corp itself, they have the utility division. Actually, then I attended one of the Keppel DC REIT management briefing. That's why they mentioned that one of the key advantage of Keppel DC REIT, they have a support of Keppel Corp Group on the utility side. That means the electricity side. So when you invest in a data center, one of a very important ecosystem is the accessibility to the water for cooling purpose and also the electricity, right? So these are some of the key so-called ecosystem you have to pay attention to. Okay, asset class number 2, digital real estate spectrum. All right. The AI, we need the data center to host all the server itself and also to do all the computing, all the computation. All right. So currently there are total 5 REIT listed in Singapore have a AI data center exposure. So for those REIT have 100% pure play data center will be Digital Core REIT, okay, and NTT DC REIT and Keppel DC REIT. Keppel DC REIT, there are total 25 data center across the 10 country, and there are a lot of hyper scalers focus. Mapletree Industrial has over 50% of the portfolio in the data center across North America, Japan, and Singapore. CapitaLand Ascender Street has about 8 to 9% exposure in this high density digital infrastructure, right? And moving forward, there are some news of a few more data center REIT to be listed in Singapore Exchange moving forward, right? Still in discussion, still not confirmed yet. So, it's all market rumors, Singtel being one of them. Okay, so this is the digital infrastructure performance metrics. Capital DC pure play, 25 global facility. Digital core also pure play. They mainly have a tier one cloud market. And NTDDC, this is a Japanese data center play, right? They have a property in data center in US, Europe, and also backed by GIC. Maple Tree, they have a data center in North America, Japan, Singapore. Okay, CapitaLand Ascenders, like what I said, that they start to increase the data center proofing into the portfolio. Okay, and so far, if you look at the financial report and also or the earnings report, they normally they'll also mention the AI growth rate. So from there, you can get some insight that how much exposure in the AI and what will be the growth potential. Okay, so come back to the SGX. Okay, a bit unique because normally in US itself, all the stock which has an AI exposure, they are mainly the growth stock, right? They're seldom or they pay very little dividend. But for Singapore itself, due to uniqueness itself, because we are focusing more on the hardware and also infrastructure, uh, we have some growth element in those stock or REIT itself. And at the same time, we also can give a very good dividend, right? For example, the digital real estate, it means the data center in Singapore itself, the dividend yield is ranging from between 4% to 7%. And Capital DC rate about 4 point something percent. And NTD DC and also digital core itself, the dividend yield can be up to 7%, close to 7%. But do take note, they are trading in the USD. Okay, so this is give you an overview on what are available on SGX. Now I'm moving to a global level. Okay, it's a wider range. All right. So how can investor position ourselves to have exposure in AI? But first thing first, you must believe in AI is here to stay. The AI is a future, and AI you have a big transformation to the economy moving forward. And you must believe in it first before you can build your investment team. All right. So there are mainly two big market at the present moment. One of them is the regulated public market. Those stocks already available on Singapore Exchange, on Nasdaq, on Wall Street, right? So, for example, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Alphabet, they are all in listed on the stock exchange. Like for example, on those listed on the Hong Kong one, you'll be Alibaba, Tencent, JD.com. Okay, they are all listed already, but they are still have a lot of AI company still in the VC stage or infant stage, and they are still have not gone through IPO yet, right? We can see that these are the segment, okay, you may want to participate in future because all those already listed on the stock market itself in terms of valuation, the valuation can be very rich or can be quite expensive now. So when the valuation is very rich, is expensive, the capital appreciation is not as huge as those private company. So those private companies, they are still pending for IPO. They are still in the hyper growth private capital emerging platform and also decentralized AI protocol. There are many teams over here. Okay, and the whole AI investment landscape at the present moment is very fragmented and fractured. And because of there are so many startup company, we do not know which one will succeed, which one will fail, because AI changes every month. Every month you have some new changes, and some of the new AI company can collapse. Some new AI tools or application may come up. Okay, I come back to this uh so this graphic again. All right, I want to highlight on this portion. All the other sector in terms of application, for example, healthcare, finance, or the manufacturing, transportation, they are still at the infant stage. So there are quite a number of companies, they are still in the private companies, they are still have not IPO listed yet. Okay, so this is the currently the all the stock available in the public market listed on an exchange. That's why you can see the Nvidia, AMD, TSMC, Broadcom, Micron, Tesla, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Oracle. There are many of them for you to choose. All right, so it's easy to access. Okay, but and on the other hand, if you look at the P/E ratio and you look at the those valuation model, quite a number of them is quite expensive. Okay, now there are another big market is more on the private market, just I mentioned. Anthropic close to 965 billion. Okay, is quite huge, and also Open AI, Waymo, Stripe, all these AI company, they still have not come into the public market yet, right? They are still in the private market space. Okay, moving forward, they may come to the IPO. So the key question for the investor will be, how can we as an investor participate in those private company before they come to IPO? Because when they come to IPO, the valuation most likely will be more stretched already. For example, SpaceX, right? When they go to the when they come to us during the IPO application itself, not necessarily we can get them, and at the same time, we are normally subscribing at a higher PE ratio. Okay, so there are quite a number of AI company or AI stock on the IPO horizon. Okay, for the near term one in the tier one, Anthropic, Open AI akan datang. Right, we do not know when, but they are preparing for the IPO. Right, so we have a tier two, tier three. There are quite a number of them in the pipeline. Okay, so I just give you an overview now. Okay, there are quite a number of opportunity on the private space. Okay, now I come to the lucky draw number 5. When building your AI portfolio, which vehicle would you consider based on your preference? Okay, each of them got pro and cons. All right, later I will show you the pro and cons of each of them. Right, whether you want to rely on the individual public equity already listed on the US stock exchange, or you want to explore some of the opportunity pre-IPO private fund, or look for some of the broader thematic of an AI ETF, right? Whether and the next question is whether you know that those are AI ETF available at the current market condition, right? Just choose your preference. Okay, no right or wrong answer, just based on preference. Okay, now, okay, the last section, I would give you some guideline. Okay, do take note that these are not the financial advice and also recommendation. I just give you some playbook how to access to the AI space. All right. So just now I have roughly touched on there are 3 ways to invest in the AI space. One is the direct public market access. This one is straightforward. Use the Tiger platform, choose the stock you want, and straight away you can buy. Okay, secondly, you also can participate in the pre-IPO fund. Okay, do take note, these are not public traded. You need to be accredited investor before you can invest in this fund. All right, and all this fund you'll be investing in those AI company pre-IPO, 2 or 3 years before the IPO. All right, I am not going to touch on a lot here. All right, because is accredited investor. If you are interested, or if you are the accredited investor, you can approach me separately. I can share with you more on this pre-IPO fund. And the third one will be the AI ETF. Okay. So far I checked yesterday on the US stock exchange, right? They have one of the AI ETF. You go Google it, you can find the AI ETF. Okay. Do take note that when you are investing in the US stock market, do take note that you are exposing to the US estate tax upon death. There's a 40% US estate tax you have to pay attention to. Okay, and these are the pro and cons when you come to the direct public, pre-IPO funds, and also AI ETF. So in terms of liquidity, of course, public shares they have a highest liquidity. AI ETF is the highest liquidity. Pre-IPO, normally they have a lock-in period, right? Because they have not IPO yet, they do not have any price trading in the public market. So you need to be prepared. There's a lock-in period until they IPO. Okay, barrier of entry for the public market very low. As long as you have you have an account with Tiger, you just go and buy. All right, you can buy today and sell tomorrow. You can. The liquidity is there. Okay, for a pre-IPO, only accredited investor, right? AI ETF similar to the public market. And risk and volatility, if you invest into individual stock. Okay, this is one of the drawback on the AI stocks. It's very volatile. It's very risky, it's very volatile. The reason being is because the AI technology or the application they built can be obsoleted easily if there is a better competitor, better product, or better solution come up by different company, right? So there's a risky. So you know that for the past few months, there is a big sell-off on a software company because with a white coding itself, you do not really need those software company to create the apps or create a software for us, right? And there are quite a number of a smaller company that can come up the software easily or application easily, right? So the volatility and risk is high when you own the individual stocks. Uh, the AI ETF itself in terms of the risk and volatility because in the ETF they own a basket of the different AI company, so the risk will be more manageable. Okay, when it comes to the pre-IPO, high risk, high return because it's pre-IPO have not listed yet. Some of the company may fail, right? So the risk is very high. And when you come to the high risk, you also have a very high return because normally when you enter into pre-IPO funds, the valuation normally is pretty low. And when you come to the IPO, the P ratio normally you boost up in the multiple times. All right. Okay. And when you use the ETF to assess the AI sector, you are expecting the market average that kind of return. Okay, so how you architect your AI portfolio, first of all, you need to identify your risk profile and also determine your investment horizon. Okay, depends and also assess your liquidity needs, right? Whether you need the money for short term or long term, because this is very, very important, right? Because uh, we are expecting the AI stock or AI sector continue to be very volatile. The price fluctuation is very wild. So you need to make sure you don't allocate those money. You need to use a long term to participate in the AI investment. Okay. After that, you select your vehicle, right? To either you select the public market or pre-IPO or ETF, okay, according to your preference and also the risk tolerance. And after that, you just build the blend. Okay. Build a very diversified portfolio, access to the whole AI sector, right? And you are good, right? So the key message here is because I know that some of you may ask me a question, hey, which AI sector should I participate in? Frankly speaking, I do not know. Because with the changes, the rapid changes, we do not know which one can be successful, which one not successful. So my approach is I will go with a fund, right? Let the fund manager who has a better insight to help me to allocate to those growth sector and run faster if something goes wrong, or I'll go with the ETF. Normally, I don't go to the individual stock pick of the AI stock itself. Too risky for me, I feel that. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask in now, right? Or you can send me a message or write to me. Okay, you can find my contact number over here, right? If you want to learn more about the AI investment opportunity. All right. So Esther, I hand over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Very informative and helpful and clear. I think many audience will like your slides. Now, please welcome all audience to send the questions. Kenny will address them directly. Then probably we will have like about 10 more minutes for Q&A session, and then it's our ending. session. How about question?
Okay, I saw a question for investor with limited capital, AI ETF or data center REIT, which is better? Uh, it really depends on your objective. If you want to go for capital gain, what you can do is for limited capital, what you can do is using the dollar cost averaging, invest consistently every month, right? Small capital, and you can invest through the ETF or through a unit trust because you can invest as low as maybe $500 or $1,000 per month and continue to grow your ETF portfolio. Because if your time horizon of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you're still young. And I would say that over the long term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, definitely AI will change the world, how it works. So that is a better investment approach instead of doing one lump sum. But if your objective or you are close to retirement age, you want to have some exposure in the AI, at the same time, you want that kind of passive income, all right, then you can consider the data center REIT because data center REIT have exposure to AI. They will grow eventually over the long term. At the same time, you also can get some dividend, get some cash flow, right? Just have some exposure. But do take note that data center REIT has the characteristic is quite similar to the technology sector. If there's a crash in the technology sector and data center REIT, you'll be affected also. There are some correlation over there. Okay, so US has all the real AI names too. Why bother with SGX for this? Okay, so just now I have already mentioned uh, the SGX, those REIT or those stock with exposure with the AI, there are not many. There are not many, frankly speaking, right? They are more on manufacturing or infrastructure based. Okay, but when you look at those US company, right, Alphabet, Microsoft, they are software company. You will not go and find those software AI company, application service company in SGX, right? So they are totally two different market, right? Totally two different type of AI game we are playing. So you need to build a diversified portfolio, right? If you want to have some stability, some very stable, that kind of infrastructure play, then you just allocate some to the SGX. But you want to high growth, okay? SGX will not give you such a high growth AI stocks compared to US. US is always a high growth sector AI plays there, right? But always take note, okay? If something happened to you, okay, or whoever who invests in the US stock market, you are exposed to 40%, 40% estate tax, right? And example, if you have 1 million US portfolio, right? Because of the 40% US estate tax, your beneficiary, your executor need to pay 400,000 USD to IRS US before your beneficiary can inherit the stock you own. Okay, you need to deal with the estate tax. Otherwise, your beneficiary, your family member, you suffer from it. Okay, so that's one of the disadvantage of investing to US stocks or US ETF directly. Okay, how to distinguish a fundamentally sound AI firm from pure hype-driven stocks? Okay, like just now what I say, right? If you are investing, no AI company is safe forever. Okay, so last time we talked about CRM, Salesforce, and maybe Adobe. They are the leader in the field, right? Who knows that when white coding come up, right, actually disrupt their business also. So these are the company who never or or slow in following the AI evolvement and also fast enough to change their business strategy, they may be replaced in the near term. So none of the company we can say can be safe forever due to all this kind of technology disruption and also the AI revolution. So for me, I don't bet on individual stock because I also do not know whether they can do well or cannot do well in future, whether they're fundamentally still strong moving forward because there are so many changes. So my investment approach is I will go with the fund or go with the ETF. Okay, so if the company not doing well, at least I don't get all my capital wiped out altogether. Okay, so this is how I manage the risk lah. Because at the present moment, really can't really tell. We are not AI. We are not dealing with physical, tangible real estate, right? When you invest in REIT, you know that you are dealing with the real asset. That means the building is there. As long as you can rent it out, you are able to collect rental and you can receive your dividend. But with an AI, when they are changing our technology itself, as long as the investment did not pay off or the technology is obsolete, they are not able to charge the subscription, their revenue impacted, they may go bust easily once they make a wrong move or their technology is obsoleted. So it's not easy to identify the fundamentally strong AI firm. And more importantly is when you invest in those companies itself, you need to look at the top line, which is the revenue. Make sure the sales revenue is growing. At the same time, bottom line, the profit is growing. And the third parameter you need to take a look at, they are generating good and positive operating cash flow, right? Which means that those AI companies, they are in the right market, right direction, they are making money, okay? And also, they also need to invest in the capex to prepare for future growth, okay? So there are a lot of big companies at the present moment, they're investing in a lot of capex to prepare and expanding their AI capability. Who are suitable long-term investor for AI-driven data center S-REIT. Okay, if you want to invest in REIT itself, first thing first, your objective must be uh, focus on a dividend, right? Data center rate will not give you that kind of 10%, 20%, 30% growth like those AI stock in US. No, you're not going to go and give it that kind of return. Basically, when you invest in the REIT itself, your main objective should be dividend, right? And a dividend over the long term, hopefully right on the AI growth rate, you are going to have an increase in dividend. Okay, if I want steady income, but also some AI exposure, so data center REIT can give you both. Yes, yes, but you need to choose those REIT we have an exposure in the data center because some of the REIT itself also need to pay attention. Some of the REIT they have a data center inside, but they did not really acquire the AI enabled data center. Maybe they are still using the old technology. So you have to do a study whether they are allocating or acquiring the new growth AI enable that kind of data center. Okay, estate tax also single stock shareholding. Yes, as long as your underlying stock, be it US ETF or US stock, you are exposed to the US asset tax. You just Google, there are quite a number of article online talking about the US asset tax. Okay, how about utility, storage, and memory stocks? Okay, so AI, you consume a lot of electricity and also you consume a lot of water. Uh, Definitely for the data center itself, you need all these utility to support it. It's not so easy to identify which utility company to support the data center itself. But as a whole, you need those ecosystem. And Memory, definitely you need a memory, right? Because there are a lot more processing power, and the speed is important. That's why Micron is doing well, and also some of the chip company doing well. But do take note, uh, they can be overvalued because everybody can access the P ratio, the PAC ratio itself. They can be overvalued. Long term, of course, they can be doing well, but make sure you don't buy at a very expensive valuation, right? When there is a market correction, and when they go back, when you have a good buffer of to the intrinsic value itself, it's good time to get in, right? So analyzing the valuation is important when you want to uh, invest in those utility, storage, and memory stock. Okay, look at the historical performance and identify a good entry point. Don't anyhow chase, right? Maybe because you may be buying at the top. Okay, I think that's all the question I see. Okay, if you have additional question, you can drop me a note. All right, you have my contact, or you can just write to Tiger, and Tiger can you approach me. All right.
Okay, Kenny, next page. Thank you for to Kenny share all your time and expertise with us today. As we wrap up today's session, if everyone would like to stay connected with Kenny Tay and keep up with the latest in AI, you can follow him on LinkedIn at Kenny Tay or visit official SAIA website. And you want to dive deeper into Singapore stocks or rate investing, please follow Kenny Law and the Rate Survey on Tiger Community and also his YouTube channel, Kenny Law Financial Wisdom. And I think we already have a lot of great information tonight. Everyone can follow Tiger Broker Singapore for more expert session and also watch the recap video in the Tiger Trade app. We look forward to seeing you in next one, and thank you for all. Thank you, Kenny Tai. Thank you, Kenny Law.
Thank
Yes.
you. Good night.
Yeah, we will
Bye.
do a roundup for wording scripts in Tiger community. See you guys. Bye bye.